Alright, hi everybody, it's Bonkai922, Magical Warfare. Before I get into this, this Saturday, I think I mentioned this already, I'm going to be going with EOP. Yes, EOP. Everything One Piece. I'm going to hang out with him this Saturday. Hopefully weather isn't too bad. The weather in New York City has been really bad. But I'm going to be going into New Jersey with him. You know, we're gonna go to like 3 different places. He's announced this on his channel already. But we're going to this toy store, the Asian market he's been to, and this other place supposedly. And he says we're gonna have a good time, stuff. Because originally Joe-chan was gonna show up, but apparently Joe-chan's not coming. So it's just me and him. So me and him are gonna like hang out for the, majority. And he, I was surprised when I had this chance to hang out with the guy. I was like, God damn, this is so crazy. And usually that doesn't happen. That I get an extra hangout thing with somebody. But yeah, I'm gonna hang out with him this Saturday. So yeah, whatever. Anyway, Magical Warfare. This is episode 6. This episode review is gonna be called One Nissan for Another One. You'll get the gist of what I'm meaning by that as we go along with this episode. Now, more or less what happened in this episode was, the name of it was Battle and Recover. And the director, knowing that Takashi and his friends, Takashi, Ida, Kurumi, and Miu, were able to pass the test, they gained the promises of promise, because they had made a deal that if they passed the test, they would be able to go out and get Miu's brother back. So essentially, that's what happening here. But remember the 2 guys, the guy who went and attacked Takashi in the beginning of the show? Okay, they rewrite his memories. We found out about that, and he's basically going with them with this other girl. It's kind of like a hostage exchange business. And they're taking him with them to exchange. And basically, we see the director, and she has this pencil that she makes this thing called the Black Door, which is a door that shows up. It's like a dimensional thing, and they go through. I will say this about this show. Say what you will. I really dig the magic being used. More importantly, I dig the magic being used with the director and washizu. That fight in this episode was very good from my eyes. I was digging it. Especially when they left, these guys, they had this massive key that they just shoved in the ground, and they turned it, and they created like a trap door. I was like, whoa. That's pretty goddamn crazy. So, they basically go through this door, and they go and they meet up with washizu. It's basically an exchange of hostages. They send these 2 there, and they're going to give back Miu's brother. Now, of course, they're going to fight, because it's not like an easy, exchange. Also, the director gives Miu this bullet that will seal her brother's powers and be able to capture him more easily and bring him back to his senses. So, fighting starts pretty much. And I should mention, the guy who attacked Takashi in the beginning of the show, he gives something to Kurumi to use when she's fighting, supposedly. And they go and they start fighting. The director and washizu, they go somewhere else. They go through this portal to go fight somewhere else. They end up fighting her brother, and he overpowers them. Even though they had that trapdoor thing, he overpowers them with his ice magic. He's able to escape. So Miu goes after him, and Ida and Takashi go after her as well. So after that, we go from that to the fight with the director and Washizu. I have to say, the magic they were using, god damn. God damn. That was a pretty impressive battle. The director has this, like, it almost looked like, you know what it looked like? You know those things you would use to, like, pinpoint things? Like it had a point on it and a pencil holder? I forgot the name of it. But that's what it looked like. So, like, she was able to draw, like, circles. And it create, she created, like, different things. She would create, holes, portal holes. She would create this diamond as a shield. It was pretty crazy. But then again, Washizu, his abilities were as hacked as hers. Because he had this ability, this magic called Dissolve, which if within the next 13 minutes your body would just dissolve and die. I was like, yo, that's crazy. And this is Washizu, he's a pretty badass villain. From my taste. And she threw everything at him. And eventually what ended up happening was she first put him in this, like, container that was at the bottom of the Tokyo Bay. That was insane. So she tried to put him in there. And, but that didn't work. It exploded and shit, and she thought she had him. But it didn't work. Then, at the very end of the fight, she creates this hole in the sky that is like a black hole. And he asks her, oh, what's going to give out first? You dissolving or me going through the hole? Essentially what happened, though, she almost died, the director. But she was able to get Washizu through the black hole thing in the sky and defeat him. But then she fell to the ocean. We don't find out what happens to her until, like, the end of the episode. But after that, we got then we go from that to the fight with Mew's brother. And they're basically in this, like, ice castle thing, tower, if you will. And basically he's controlling it, Mew's brother. And he's creating all these, like, these just icicles coming out of the walls. They're attacking them and shit. And essentially what happens is, Takashi and Ida get left behind by Mew because, Takashi's hand gets frozen to an icicle, and Ida's basically gonna have to he tries to break him out of it, which he does with his fire. And then we just have this standoff between Mew and her brother. And it got pretty intense. It really did. It got pretty intense. And at one point we see Takashi reminiscing about his brother. And this, like, brought up a bunch of stuff where he was saying about how Mew never gave up on her brother. But C seemingly did on his. Pretty much. And what ends up happening is he overpowers her with the not his ice match, which is this other kind of magic he's using. And at the last moment, Ida and Takashi able to come in and help her. What ends on happening is they go up against him mano a mano and able to push him back. And she has this huge speech about him and that, she didn't matter where they were. He could not be with her. And as long as he was smiling, she could say, at least he's smiling. And that whole speech gave him a tear, and he just screamed, and he was losing it. And then he went after her in a charge, and then they fought him, and pretty much, she ends up using that bullet, and she creates this gun, and she shoots him. And it's not until, like, after that is over that we find out what happened. So after that, we go from that to school. We see the director. She's okay. She's hospitalized. She got bandages all over the place. And she's okay. Give or take. Then we see Mew, and she wakes up, and we see her brother. And he calls Mew, and then all of a sudden she's saying, Nissan, 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 Nissan. And I thought to myself, wait a minute. This isn't Naruto. Yes, I went there. But yeah, that's what I meant by the whole, Nissan thing. This was like a Nissan episode. But then after that, we get another scene in the episode where it's washizu, and he goes through the portal, and he goes to another area. He goes to his subordinate, the woman, and basically she's basically telling him all, what happened to him, and he's basically gone. She's referencing, Iba, Miyu's brother, and she shows him replacements for him, and he just smiles, and he just takes them out, and then after that, he looks at her and he basically tells him that this is the 5th, student, and we see this person, and already I'm like, I know who it is. It's fucking Takashi's brother. I'm gonna pay it very, very straightforward right now. I'm gonna be very straightforward with this show. I better not find out when this eventually happens, because it's Gekko. It's pretty much Gekko. He's the one who's part of trailers now. So basically that's what I meant when I said one Nissan for another. Mew got her Nissan back, and now we got this. I'm going to say it right now. When Takashi fights his brother, because he's going to fight him, it's going to happen. Washizu survived, so this is going to continue. He fights him. I swear to God, if he pulls, he better not pull an Obito. I'm telling you guys right now. He pulls an Obito, I'm going to scream bloody murder. What I mean when I say pull an Obito? Well, now no one... I'm fighting you because you stole my girlfriend. Ooh, butthurt. So as far as I'm concerned, Gekko is the butthurt character in this show. Because, let me tell you something. Hey, you're going to kill your brother because he stole your girlfriend? Are you freaking kidding me? So here's what I'm going to say. If he fights Takashi, and that's not why he's fighting him. But if he says, oh, why did you take my girlfriend away? I'm fighting. Then I'm going to be like, get the fuck out of here. Are you fucking serious? You joined these evil wizards because your brother took your girlfriend away? They weren't going out. Oh, by the way, not to rub salt in your wound, she doesn't like you. Kurumi. She actually prefers your brother. And if you can't get over that, well, why don't you take a gun and shove it? So, for now, I'm going to hold it, though. I'm going to say that Gekko is probably... I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt. But my God, I better not find out down the road in this show as we get closer. Because this is what, episode 6? So you got to figure there's like about 6 or 7 more episodes. Please, 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 don't let this guy start monologuing to Takashi and saying, oh, you betrayed me. You took away my girlfriend. I should have been going out with Kurumi. No. It doesn't work that way. Okay? I mean, I give credit to his Mew's brother because he was obviously controlled, but at least he didn't have those tendencies. But Gekko? Get the fuck If that's the first thing he's thinking about when they fight later on the road, because I know it's going to happen later on down the road, that Kurumi, listen, she better not start, like, going, you shouldn't fight, because then I'm going to feel like, when did this show start? When did we start having Naruto tendencies in the show? Not that I hate Naruto. Naruto's a good show. It's just, I don't like this shit. It's just so stupid. But we'll see. I mean, most likely it's Gekko who's replaced him. Should be interesting. Next week, though, is going to be different. Next week's not... next week is just... I believe Takashi, he trains with his sword. Yeah, he goes through some kind of nightmare phase where he has to train with his sword. It's along those lines. Because it's called, that episode, I believe... Let me just check. Sword something? Yeah, the Magic Sword Secret. So you're going to have a whole thing about the magic sword, and Takashi's going to go through this process of controlling it and stuff. You know, that's basically the whole spiel. So yeah, that's pretty much the story, people. Bankai 922. Haven't decided if I'm going to be bringing my camera with me when doing this thing with the EOP. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. But we'll see. But yeah, that's the story. Bankai 922. I'll see you guys later. One Nissan for another. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. I'll see you guys later. Peace.